She had the connection to Taylor, had the film.
I was casting, and I had actually brought in and showed her casting tape to Blake and Taylor, and they were both like, "Yes, her." And that's a true story.
That was her like official involvement in this film.
Taylor Swift's team has been exposed for not telling the full truth about her connection to the movie It Ends With Us. Her representatives insisted she was never on set and had nothing to do with the creative process. But now actor Justin Baldoni has revealed something completely different. He claims Taylor was actually a big part of the behind-the-scenes work. Not only did she help Blake Lively land the lead role, but she also played a key role in shaping the script. This surprising detail has started a wave of confusion among fans. Documents and insider sources are now coming forward, pointing to Taylor's involvement being much more than what her team claimed. So what's the real story? The conflicting accounts have left people guessing, and even Taylor's most loyal fans are beginning to question what's real. One thing is clear: someone isn't telling the full story.
Taylor Swift never set foot on the set of this movie. No one ever said you were on set of the movie, for the record, just to be clear. I've talked to a crew. You weren't on the movie. That's true. But she was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. That's not true. She did not score the film. That's true. She did. There's rumors, though, that she had the person fired. I don't know if that's actually true. I think that was Blake. She never saw an edit or made any notes of the film. She did not even see It Ends With Us, ouch, until weeks after its public.
As soon as Taylor Swift was handed a subpoena, her team quickly went into crisis mode. They rushed to release a public statement to shut down any rumors linking her to the movie It Ends With Us. According to them, Taylor had absolutely no role in the film. They didn't say she was somewhat involved or gave small suggestions. They made it sound like she was completely removed. Her team claimed she never visited the set and didn't contribute anything creatively. The wording was strong and direct, with no space for misinterpretation. What made things more suspicious was the timing. These firm denials only came after Taylor received legal documents requesting her to speak. That's when Hollywood insiders started whispering. If there really was nothing to hide, why wait until legal action to speak out? The language used wasn't vague. There were no phrases like, "as far as we know." It was all final and absolute. But fans and industry watchers remembered something else. Blake Lively, during press interviews, had previously hinted that Taylor supported the film and was somehow involved. In casual conversations, Blake mentioned her friendship with Taylor and dropped subtle clues suggesting that Taylor was more than just a cheerleader. This raised questions. If Taylor truly had nothing to do with the movie, why did her team feel the need to deny it so strongly and specifically? Why say she never stepped foot on set unless someone had claimed she did? These weren't random statements. They were preemptive, reacting to something bigger brewing behind the scenes. Then came the twist. Justin Baldoni, one of the film's key players, wasn't staying quiet. He knew what really happened. He was ready to speak out, and his side of the story could completely shatter the version Taylor's team had carefully constructed.
There's more. Sources say Taylor is also learning Blake has been inappropriate leveraging her name for a long time, like telling a young actress that Taylor cast her, which simply did not happen. Oh my God. If this is true, holy crap. TMZ dropped a new podcast, Two Angry Men, in which Harvey asked Justin's lawyer Brian about the subpoenaing of Taylor. It was easy to read between the lines. One thing is clear: Taylor feels used. This is a huge falling out. Taylor is godmother to one of Brian and Taylor's kids. Whoo! Yeah, tomorrow we'll have new news, and sorry, I've already taped it. It's still worth playing, so check it out because it adds to this even more of how much Blake admits to Taylor being in charge this whole time. And if all of that was not true, I could see real bad blood brewing. Real bad blood is brewing, Kim. Look, this is now, as I talked about in this morning's video, which if you didn't see, go check out because there's more to be said there. But I'll summarize quickly in that this deposition of Taylor Swift is like a nightmare for her. It's a nightmare. It's got to be a nightmare for Blake and Ryan. No one wants Taylor. I'm sure last thing they're going to want is Taylor Swift to have to go get subpoenaed, and they're going to have to go through her stuff that costs her legally. And now she's in this mess for why? For what? And now there's plenty of evidence that shows, because of Blake, that she incorporated Taylor's notes. What did you think? Taylor did this, Taylor's song, yada, yada. Now Taylor's involved. And there was no reason for her to be involved. Why had she anything to do with this movie, Kim? She gave a song at a certain point because probably Blake asked. And she thought, oh, cool, yeah. And that was her friendly thing, right? And clearly they're close. But if I'm a friend and my friend, if you're my friend and you write this about me, I'll be honest, I'm definitely going to hold it. I'm definitely going to have some issues with you moving forward. Because this
So why was
isn't appropriate.
Taylor Swift pulled into a legal case involving a movie she was said to have nothing to do with? The truth surprised even her most loyal supporters. When Taylor received the subpoena, it shattered the clean-cut version of events her team had been pushing. This wasn't a random legal move. It was targeted. The reason? Taylor had knowledge about the film It Ends With Us that could change the course of the ongoing legal fight between director Justin Baldoni and actress Blake Lively. Their professional relationship had turned sour. What began as simple disagreements turned into serious conflict. Arguments about creative control and what happened on set escalated until lawyers stepped in. Baldoni, who directed and starred in the movie, clashed with Lively over major decisions, and tensions quickly grew beyond repair. So if Taylor really had no part in the film's creation, as her team insisted, why would she be asked to testify? The explanation is straightforward. She had key information. She wasn't just a bystander. The legal team knew she had insight about casting decisions, creative direction, and production choices. These were the same areas her representatives claimed she had nothing to do with. The moment her team found out about the subpoena, they released a statement denying everything. But insiders quickly noticed that the statement came only after legal pressure hit. People involved in the project say Taylor was more than just a supportive friend. She gave real feedback that shaped parts of the movie. According to crew members, her opinions influenced how Blake's character was portrayed. The subpoena confirmed what many in Hollywood had quietly suspected. Taylor's input mattered. Her team's attempt to cover it up now looks like an effort to protect her from being dragged deeper into a messy legal fight. The real mystery now is just how involved she really was, and why so much effort was spent hiding.
Now, look, here's the comment that our rep's putting out there, but here's the fact. And we got to focus on the second part. She was not involved in any casting or creative decisions. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that?
She told me Taylor Swift helped her get the role, like signed off on her audition.
I was casting, and I had actually brought in and showed her casting tape to Blake and Taylor, and they were both like, yes, her. And that's a true story.
She told
So not only did Justin say that,
Did I hear that Taylor may have had some influence in getting
She did. Yeah, I know. I don't even know if I'm meant to be saying it, but I'm saying it. Yeah, she was a helpful part of the process of the audition, which I found out later after I got it, and that rocked my world. Yeah. I have no words.
well, there's two actors, I guess are both lying, Isabella and Justin, who are, I believe them. I believe that she was involved. Now, does that mean she was involved in the casting process? No. She chimed in on an audition tape. Probably likely. Semantics is what we're arguing here, but you were more involved than you want to claim to be is the reality. And there were moments about you being involved, not only there, but involved in the screenwriting parts as well.
It feels like a big, beautiful summer movie, but like we didn't have any budget. So it feels like a big, beautiful summer movie, but like we didn't have any budget. So there were a lot of favors and a lot of begging. And your knees for Taylor? I mean, honestly, she was with me on this experience the whole time.
The whole time Taylor was with her on this experience. Now, I don't know how true that is because we know Blake likes to overextend how much Taylor actually does for her. But this is Blake now putting it on the record. Taylor was involved the whole time. So if you're mad at anybody, be mad at Blake.
All throughout it. So like she really lived this with me.
She lived this with me all throughout it.
Yeah, she was, she's a person who shows up for you. And I'm
she shows up for
so
you.
Grateful to have
her love and support.
That love and that support.
For weeks, Justin Baldoni remained silent while stories spread about Taylor Swift's supposed involvement in It Ends With Us. But on Mother's Day, he finally spoke up. And what he revealed stunned the entire industry. After watching Taylor's team continue to deny any connection between her and the movie, Justin had enough. He took to social media to tell his side of the story and reveal what really happened. What made him speak out? It was the repeated false claims that Taylor had nothing to do with the film's development. Justin knew those statements weren't true, and he wasn't going to let her team change the facts while he remained the target of public blame. His message wasn't vague or cautious. He clearly said that Taylor watched Blake Lively's audition and gave her approval before Blake was officially chosen for the role. He even admitted showing the casting tape to both Blake and Taylor before final decisions were made. That level of involvement goes way beyond casual support. It means Taylor had a direct voice in shaping the cast. This directly challenges everything her team has said publicly. While her representatives claimed she never stepped on set or made creative choices, Baldoni described a very different picture. He seemed deeply frustrated, even emotional in the video part of his post. This wasn't about drama, it was about defending the truth. Insiders say Justin tried to deal with the issue quietly at first. He didn't want a media storm, but when the denials kept coming, he felt forced to speak out. Others who worked on the movie have also confirmed Taylor's behind-the-scenes role, including private visits, phone calls, and opinions on key moments. And according to Baldoni, casting approval wasn't the end of it. He hinted that Taylor was involved in even more sensitive parts of the creative process, details that could completely break down the version of events her team has been trying to protect.
Taylor Swift believes Blake exploited her. Heartbroken singer finally lays bare former bestie's betrayal and the move that left her completely floored. She feels betrayed. Up until this year, she was one of her closest confidants until all this It Ends With Us drama. There they are over Memorial Day in Philadelphia on Sunday, or Mother's Day on Sunday. Here's Blake smiling, really such show. She's so depressed and can't leave the house, yet she's always photographed outside the house. But the whole saga left Swift feeling used, and she took a step back from the relationship. While all parties denied the allegations against them, the ugly suggestions that Swift had more involvement in the production, but she would like people to know. It has been claimed that she personally approved the casting of Isabella. Swift firmly denies that. Speculation that Taylor chose young Lily in casting is untrue. This subpoena delves into events and things that did not occur. Now, she could have saw a tape and said, she looks great. That doesn't mean she cast young Lily. People jump to those conclusions, and let's be honest, Blake might have been there with Taylor watching tapes, and Taylor suggested, oh yeah, she looks like you. That doesn't mean she cast Lily. That just means she chimed in, and I do believe she chimed in.
The most shocking part of Justin Baldoni's statement wasn't just about Taylor Swift helping choose the cast. It went even further. He revealed that Taylor wasn't only watching auditions, she was also helping shape the actual script. Baldoni clearly said she played a role in the screenwriting process. This wasn't a passing comment or a misunderstood quote. It was a direct and purposeful revelation of something Taylor's team had worked hard to keep under wraps. In Hollywood, saying someone was involved in writing doesn't always mean they wrote the whole script. It usually means they gave suggestions, offered feedback, or helped adjust scenes and lines of dialogue. That kind of involvement often earns credit as a script consultant or co-writer, depending on how much input was given. But in this case, Taylor got no recognition for her work on the screenplay. That might seem surprising, but for anyone who knows Taylor's background, it makes sense. She's a highly skilled songwriter known for telling powerful stories through music. She understands how to build emotion, create compelling characters, and move an audience, so it wouldn't be unusual for her to step into a writing role behind the scenes. Still, the lack of official credit raises big questions. In the film industry, writing contributions are supposed to be acknowledged. The Writers Guild has strict rules about giving proper recognition. If Taylor really helped shape the script and got no credit, it's not just odd. It's a serious concern. Some crew members have pointed to parts of the movie that feel like her work. They've noticed changes in emotional scenes and lines of dialogue that seem to reflect Taylor's style. If Baldoni's claims are true, then Taylor was deeply involved in the creative process. That makes her team's public denial look completely false. Writing a screenplay is one of the most important roles in making a movie. If Taylor contributed to that part, she wasn't just offering casual advice, she was helping build the story from the inside. So why would she hide it? Likely to stay out of the legal fight between Baldoni and Blake Lively. By keeping her role hidden, she could support Blake quietly without getting involved in the court battle. But once she got subpoenaed, that plan fell apart. Now, Blake Lively's version of events is being questioned too. What she said about Taylor's involvement doesn't seem to match what's really coming out.
So did you go to her and say, would you do something, or did she see the movie and say, please use this song?
I mean, she was
So perfect
She was
the way
with
it's
me
played.
throughout this whole process. So I think that, for better or worse, she was, experienced the whole thing with me. So
She experienced the whole thing with me. Now, these are talking points that Blake is saying. Where I will defend Taylor a little bit is I don't know how much I believe Blake. Let's be honest. Blake clearly likes to talk up a big game about how much her friends are involved. And so the reality check is, was Taylor that involved? I don't know. That's literally what we're trying to figure out. That's what the deposition's for. All of this is to find out how much is Blake really telling the truth. I suspect Blake's not telling the full truth, and Taylor wasn't as involved as everyone thinks. Everyone wants to vilify Taylor. Go ahead, do what you want. I'm going to keep my focus on Blake, who is clearly a snake. And I do think Taylor wasn't really as aware of how snaky Blake was, Snake Lively. And I do believe she's mad. I really do believe that.
While Taylor Swift's team was busy denying everything and Justin Baldoni was revealing the truth, Blake Lively was sharing her own version of the story, and it didn't exactly match either side. The situation quickly turned confusing. Blake has often brought up Taylor's name whenever it seemed to help her public image. Over the years, she's spoken about their friendship in interviews, posted about her on social media, and made it very clear they are close. But these moments often show up when Blake has something to promote. When the movie It Ends With Us was first being introduced to the public, Blake constantly brought up Taylor. In interviews, she talked about how Taylor was supporting the film and giving advice. She made it sound like Taylor was involved in meaningful ways, offering thoughts, sharing opinions, and helping shape the project. But this didn't match what Taylor's representatives said later, when they claimed she had absolutely no part in the production. It looks like Blake may have made Taylor's role seem bigger than it actually was. Not by accident, but because having Taylor's name linked to a movie brings instant media attention. Blake knows that. Every time she brought up Taylor during press tours, more headlines followed. The same thing has happened before. Blake once used the names of Taylor's cats to promote her own brand of alcohol and appeared in her music videos just as her new projects were launching. These coincidences happen too often to ignore. When Blake hinted at Taylor's involvement in this movie, she might not have realized it could backfire. Her statements gave Baldoni's team a reason to believe Taylor had a bigger role than anyone officially admitted. Now that Taylor has been pulled into the legal drama, it's caused major stress between the two friends. Insiders say Taylor was upset and felt used. She didn't expect to be caught in the middle of this fight, especially because of things Blake said during promotion. It's clear Blake may have exaggerated to boost the film's success, while Taylor's team tried to back away from any connection once things got complicated. But with court proceedings underway, someone will be held responsible. Will it be Blake for overstating the facts, Taylor for staying quiet while her team denied everything, or Baldoni for speaking up about what was meant to stay hidden?
You are going to depose Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, Taylor Swift. Who else?
Well, I don't know that we're going to depose Taylor Swift or not.
Really?
I think that's going to be, probably a game time decision. I don't know that decision's been made, but I can tell you this: there's anyone that reasonably has information that can be that can provide evidence in this case is going to be deposed. I mean,
that's Taylor Swift. She was there for that meeting.
She was there for that meeting.
Okay, well, I'm a lawyer. I know what that means. and that's why I'm just thinking that even when you take Blake and Ryan out of it in terms of how they personally feel about it all, I mean, to say that we're going to put Taylor Swift in the middle of this whole thing, I think they are going to do everything they can to avoid going to court, because the last thing they want is to have their friend, the biggest star in the world now, sitting on a stand being grilled by Brian Friedman.
My assumption is that they're going to probably take some legal actions that are beyond the bounds of decency, and we'll see if they can try to avoid a deposition.
How could they do that if there's relevance?
I'm going to object and order the witness not to testify.
You're not his lawyer. You're his friend. Jeez.
Mark is usually my lawyer, though.
The truth about Taylor Swift's part in It Ends With Us seems to fall somewhere in the middle. On one side, her team said she had nothing to do with the film. On the other, Blake Lively made it sound like Taylor was fully involved behind the scenes. The truth is likely not as simple as either version. Taylor wasn't totally removed from the project, but she probably didn't have as much control as Blake made it seem. The situation took a dramatic turn when Justin Baldoni spoke out. His statements revealed details that Taylor's team had been trying to keep hidden. Now Taylor is caught in a legal mess she clearly wanted to avoid. Despite efforts to stay out of it, she's been pulled into the courtroom spotlight, and her testimony might end up being one of the most important parts of the case. Commentators like the host of Popcorn Planet believe Taylor's upcoming deposition will shed light on everything that happened during production. What she says under oath could confirm or challenge the stories coming from both sides. At the same time, the situation is putting serious pressure on her friendship with Blake Lively. What once looked like an unbreakable bond is now full of tension. Sources close to both stars say their relationship has taken a hit due to the fallout from this controversy. As more information comes out, both women are facing uncomfortable questions. Justin Baldoni, who stayed quiet for a long time, is now trying to clear his name. He wants the truth known about what went on behind the scenes, especially after being blamed for problems with the film's production. What started as a creative disagreement has grown into a much bigger fight, and Taylor's involvement may be the key to understanding how it all spiraled out of control. Make sure to like, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts in the comments.